The soft hum of wedding music drifted through the open garden, mingling with laughter and the scent of fresh roses. The golden afternoon sunlight filtered through tall trees, painting everything in a soft, honey-colored glow. Guests smiled, champagne glasses clinked, and the bride and groom, two people hopelessly in love, danced under a white arch wrapped in silk ribbons. But standing far from the joy, near the edge of the garden where shadows fell across the lawn, was a man who didn't quite belong. Aaron Hale held his son's small hand as they watched the crowd from a distance. His tie hung loosely around his neck, and his eyes, calm but tired, followed the laughter without really seeing it. He wasn't here to celebrate. He was here because his sister, the bride, had begged him to come. "You've been alone too long, Aaron," she'd said. "It's time to see people again." But he didn't feel ready for people. Not after losing Emily 2 years ago, the woman who had been his heart, his partner, his home. Since that day, everything in Aaron's life had turned into quiet survival. Work, take care of his son, go to sleep, repeat. His friends called it resilience, but in truth it was emptiness disguised as endurance. So if you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the power of unexpected love, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kenless Journal. Because sometimes, all it takes is one story to remind us that healing is possible. Aaron's son, Ethan, tugged at his sleeve. The boy's suit was too big for his small frame, and his freckles glowed in the afternoon light. "Dad," he said softly, "why don't you dance?" Aaron smiled faintly. "I don't dance, buddy. Not anymore. Mom used to say you were good at it," Ethan said, his voice quiet but confident as though stating a fact. Aaron looked down, his throat tightening. He could still hear Emily's laugh, see her in their living room, barefoot and spinning, while he tried to follow her steps. Those memories were both his refuge and his prison. He patted his son's shoulder. "Go play, Ethan. I'll watch you from here." Ethan nodded and ran off toward a group of kids chasing bubbles. Aaron leaned against a post near the garden edge, pretending to check his phone. He didn't notice that someone had been watching him from the crowd. A woman with a soft blue dress and eyes that seemed to carry a storm and sunlight at once. Her name was Clara Wynne. She wasn't part of the wedding party either, just a family friend helping with the arrangements. She'd lost her fiancé 3 years ago in an accident that had stolen her laughter for a long time. Since then, she'd worked as a florist, creating beauty for others while keeping her own heart safely caged. But as she watched Aaron quietly standing there, she saw something she recognized instantly, the same loneliness she used to carry like a shadow. When the music shifted to a slow, graceful tune, couples began to fill the dance floor. Laughter echoed through the air again. Clara hesitated only a second before she stepped away from her table, walked across the lawn, and stopped in front of him. Aaron looked up startled. Clara smiled gently. "You're not dancing. I'm just a guest," he replied quietly. "And not a very lively one." She tilted her head. "Neither am I. But maybe we both could be for a song." Before he could protest, she held out her hand. "Dance with me," she said softly, "before you notice all the reasons not to." Aaron froze. The words hung between them like something fragile and sacred. For a moment, he almost said no. But then, something inside him, a voice that had been silent for too long, whispered why not. He placed his hand in hers. The moment their palms touched, a strange warmth spread through him, like sunlight breaking through clouds. Clara led him to the dance floor, and they began to move, not perfectly but sincerely. The world around them blurred, the chatter, the music, the cameras, all faded until there was only the rhythm of two broken souls remembering what it felt like to live. Aaron felt clumsy at first, but Clara's calm presence steadied him. Her hand rested gently on his shoulder, her eyes never leaving his. "You're not as bad as you think," she whispered. He let out a breath that almost sounded like a laugh. "I used to be better." "Then maybe you just need a new song," she said. They moved slowly under the canopy of golden light, and something inside him shifted. For the first time in years, Aaron wasn't thinking about the past or the pain. He was simply there. When the song ended, Clara smiled and started to step back, but Aaron's hand lingered for a second longer. He didn't want to let go, but he did, afraid to misread kindness for connection. The rest of the evening blurred. Guests came and went, lights dimmed, laughter grew louder. Ethan ran up, happy and breathless, his shirt untucked. "You danced," he exclaimed, eyes wide with wonder.
"I saw you."
Aaron smiled. Just one song. Can you dance again? Ethan asked hopefully. He looked toward Clara, who was now gathering flowers from the tables. For a moment, she looked back, her smile soft and knowing. Aaron's chest tightened again, but this time it wasn't pain, it was possibility. After the wedding ended, people slowly drifted away, and the garden fell quiet under a deepening orange sky. Aaron helped fold a few chairs and was about to leave when he heard Clara's voice behind him. "You forgot something," she said. He turned, and she handed him a single white rose. "For your courage?" He laughed softly. "I'm not sure I deserve that." "You showed up," she said simply. "That's more than most people do when they're hurting." He wanted to say something back, but words failed him. She turned to leave, her dress brushing softly against the grass. Then, almost without thinking, he called after her. "Would you maybe like to get coffee sometime?" She paused, turned around slowly, and smiled, a real open smile. "I'd like that." That evening, as Aaron drove home, Ethan fell asleep in the back seat. The boy's hand clutched the rose tightly, as if protecting it. Aaron glanced at him through the rearview mirror, then at the road ahead, washed in the last light of dusk. For the first time in a long while, the road didn't feel endless. 2 days turned into weeks. Coffee turned into long walks, laughter, and quiet evenings watching sunsets at the park while Ethan chased fireflies. Clara became a steady, gentle presence in their lives, never trying to replace what was lost, only adding warmth to what remained. Aaron noticed how Ethan began to talk about her with excitement. "Clara showed me how to make flower crowns," he'd say. Or, "She told me stories about when she was little." One afternoon, while they were having lunch at a small cafe, Clara looked at Aaron and said, "You don't talk about her much." "Emily." He sighed, eyes distant. "Because I still miss her, every day." The Clara nodded. "You don't have to stop missing her to love again." Her words lingered. That evening, Aaron walked with Ethan by the lake, and for the first time, he spoke openly about Emily. The good days, the laughter, the silly arguments. And somewhere between the tears and the smiles, he realized he wasn't losing Emily's memory. He was learning to carry it differently. Months passed. Aaron and Clara's connection deepened quietly, without rush or expectation. They became a small, unspoken family. Then, one bright afternoon, as the town prepared for another wedding, his sister's anniversary renewal, Aaron found himself once again at a dance floor, dressed in a dark blue suit, his son standing proudly beside him. Clara approached, wearing a soft lilac dress that swayed gently in the breeze. Ethan grinned. "Dade, it's her again." Aaron laughed. "Yes, it is." The music began, slow, elegant, familiar. Clara stopped in front of him and smiled, her eyes shimmering. "You know," she said softly, "you never finished that dance." He looked at her for a moment, emotion thick in his throat. Then he took her hand and whispered, "Then let's finish it now." They stepped onto the floor together, and as they moved, Aaron felt the world fade again, just like before. But this time, he wasn't afraid of the feeling. Ethan stood nearby, clapping in rhythm, his small face glowing with joy. The guests smiled, whispering softly about how beautiful they looked together. As the song drew to an end, Aaron whispered, "You told me to dance before I noticed. What did you mean that day?" Clara smiled. "I meant sometimes if we think too much, we miss the moments that can save us." He nodded, holding her close, realizing she was right. Life didn't give second chances, it gave unexpected beginnings. When the song ended, applause filled the air. Ethan ran forward, hugging them both. Aaron looked at Clara and whispered, "Thank you for reminding me how to live again." She smiled through her tears. "No, Aaron. Thank you for finally dancing." The three of them stood under the fading sunlight, no longer just guests to each other's stories, but part of something new, something quietly beautiful. If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Kindness Journal, because every act of love and courage deserves to be remembered. The special request, comment below, what part of this story made you feel the most? We read every word you share.